Now we're going to look at the bones of the forearm. And I'll start with the radial bone. This round circular portion is the proximal end, and the portion down here that has a bit of a bump or a stylus is the distal end. This is the area that articulates with the capitulum of the humerus. This is called the head of the radius. Just below that is the neck. On the anterior surface is a large bump, and that's called the radial tuberosity. Any muscle that attaches to this tuberosity will have a rotational component. So biceps brachii, pronator teres, supinator, all of those will have some kind of pronation or supination movement on the forearm. On the anterior surface of the distal radius, there's not a lot going on, but if you turn it over, you do have another bump or tubercle, and this is called Lister's tubercle. It's also called the dorsal tubercle because it's on the dorsal side or the back side of the forearm. This is a great guide to separate the tendons of the extensor muscles. So you have extensor carpi radialis and brevis that are separated from extensor pollicis longus and extensor digitorum and indices, which will work on that side. This is the styloid process of the radius on the distal end. So head, neck, anterior side has the tuberosity. Distal end has the styloid process, and on the posterior side or dorsal side is Lister's tubercle. Now we'll take a look at the ulna bone. This is the proximal end, and this is the distal end. This becomes your elbow, that big pointy spot. So the pointed area is called the olecranon. And this area here is the olecranon process, which fits into the olecranon fossa of the humerus. Just below that would be the coronoid process. This is what fits into the coronoid fossa of the humerus. This notch here is called the trochlear notch or the semilunar notch. Just below the trochlear notch is a tubercle called the ulna tubercle. And just lateral to that, there's a small little divot, and this receives the head of the humerus. You go to the distal end, and you have a styloid process of the ulna. And this area here would be called the head. Olecranon, olecranon process, coronoid process, trochlear notch, ulna tubercle, radial notch, head of ulna, and styloid process.